Welcome to the creator spotlight of the spotlight. This is the interview portion of our show. I'm Steven Jensen, as always, with Jeremy Lambert. And today we have joining us, he is the man who won in 22 seconds at the opening match, the opening fight of Creator Clash. He is a man who we've been seeing pop up at pro wrestling events with John Hennigan, aka John Morrison, aka Johnny, every name you can think of. Y'all know who we're talking about. He is the best pop star and the best boxer in the universes. We're joined by Dad. How's it going, man?
Hello, it's going great. How are you guys?
We're doing great, man. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
Before we get into it, we know you're on tour right now for the game with the Game Grumps. How's that been going? Let people know what's been going on with that.
It's been insane. It's been a real wild. The past 2 months have been very insane. I'm in the middle of a parking lot in Tennessee. I can't pronounce the name. I'm in Dollywood. You know Dollywood, Dolly Parton's theme park.
My God,
Dollywood. It's down the street. So that's where I am. I'm near Dolly Parton's theme park in a parking lot down the street from the tour bus, and it's been crazy. Basically, I went from Creator Clash, the boxing event, and straight to Las Vegas the next weekend with John for AEW and GCW. And then when I was about to jump in the ring, Aaron from the Game Grumps was like, "You want to go on tour with us?" And I was like, "Yes." So then I went right on tour with them starting in Seattle. And now I'm here. And we go until the very last day of the month. And I finally get to go home to Town, USA on July 1st. So it's been wild. And every night I'm like jumping off the balcony, like dropping in. I'm doing front flips. I'm jumping into the audience off like really big stages. I just got out of off the bus, and I'm just like tight and cramped and a mess. But it's been very fun. So that's what's been happening. So if it's a little loud and weird, it's because I'm in a parking lot.
No, this is awesome. Yeah, man. As you just mentioned, you got a lot going on right now, and just as a fan of what y'all did for Creator Clash, I honestly, dude, I watch all the TikToker versus YouTubers. I watch Aaron Carter versus Lamar Odom. I watch all the Jake Paul fights. I watch all of it, right? I watch Skinny from the Nine and Supreme Patty and all these guys fight. Creator Clash was by far, I think, the best event I've ever seen for boxing that was like in that realm. And
definitely.
And you're a big part of that because you're the opening fight. And going into that, people didn't really know what to expect. Like, we knew who was going to be on the show, but we didn't know what any of y'all would look like as boxers. And you really showed out to open that show up. What was that experience like?
Yeah. Well, so I have a couple things to say about that. One, I read every single comment and I heart every single comment on my channel. And then I often go and I read everyone else's comments on their uploads about the match, and I'll respond to a lot of people because I'm very interested in what people have to say. And the first thing I'll say about my fight was I didn't love my form. I didn't love how I looked, but I was also pretty happy with it. My coaches told me from day one, they go, "You're never going to look good. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about looking good." He goes, "It's 6 months of training, and then you're going into a fight." He goes, "Most fighters fight for 3 years, then they go into a fight, and even then it looks bad." So he's like, let go of trying to look good. Because the thing is, when I'm boxing and I'm sparring and I'm hitting the bag, it looks good. I'm tight. My form is perfect because I'm concentrating each punch the right way on each hit. And it's like picture perfect, for someone brand new. So then when I got in there, it was like a brawl. And I was like, what am I doing? I looked at the footage. I was like, what the heck? I was just kind of like swinging. And there's a lot of comments about that. Like, what are these guys doing here? They're making boxing look stupid. These guys don't know how to fight. And I respond to all of those. And I try to be very logical and not too much of a hater. But it's like, I've only trained for 6 months. I'm like, I never punched anything before that. And I feel I did all right. So that's what I wanted to say in the beginning, I guess, to defend myself against all the haters out there. But boxing is very hard. It's gnarly. And fortunately, I didn't get punched during my fight. But during sparring, I was getting punched by guys who were really good. And I never go down and I never stop punching. So I'm very much looking forward to the next fight where I can prove that. I literally, if you want, actually, there's a video on my page called Never Stop Punching, and it's my coaches and I trained, because my fight was 5 2-minute rounds, so we trained 10 3-minute rounds, and I literally do not stop punching the whole time, even if someone's punching me. I block when I need to, but I'm throwing way more punches than my opponent. So I like over prepared, and I really want to be able to show that, because a lot of people are saying about my fight, oh, this guy's going to gas out. Oh, he only went 22 seconds, but he wouldn't have been able to do 30 seconds. That's not true, because I can go, no joke, like a half an hour and not stop punching. So I just wanted to say that to all the haters. I read all your comments, but it was amazing. Creator Clash is everyone's saying it's the new standard in YouTube boxing, and that like if other events don't look as good and as classy and respectful as Creator Clash, it's like a joke. And that's how I felt about YouTube boxing a little bit. It is a joke in a way, because it's like, you know, goofballs trying to be fighters, and they're trying to act tough and look like, you know, hard dudes and like be these like crazy fighters. But like, we play video games, and, you know, we do streams, we play Among Us, and we're playing like Fortnite, for crying out loud. Like, we're all nerds. So act like yourself and be who you are. But if you package it and present it professionally and cleanly, and then own up to who you are in the ring, I think it makes sense, and people can accept it and digest it in a way that's more palpable, I guess. And also, I think it was really smart of Ian and Anissa to incorporate pros into the event, like pro boxers. There was 4 pro boxers there who opened and closed the show. I don't think everyone who watched the pay-per-view saw that, but like, it was really cool to see these pros go in the ring before us, and we're all watching them. We're like, these guys are legit killers. They were scary, and it was cool to be on a card with them. It made us feel kind of like, you know, cool. And then they were all talking to us. They loved it, because it was like, this is the biggest audience they've ever had, and they've been boxing most of their lives. So I think it was like a kind of a nice understanding between worlds of like, thank you for letting us be in here. And then they're like, dude, please let us come back to more, because we'd love to box in front of this audience. We're fortunate to have big audiences, but we're not good boxers. So it's a little bit of an even trade, I guess, when you have them on the card. So sorry, that's my big rant about Creator Clash. It was the greatest night of my life, and I hope to do it again very soon and show people that I can actually throw down.
Well, there was just a heavyweight boxing fight that I saw. It was a WBA, I believe, title fight that just happened this past weekend, and they maybe had 300 people there. Y'all legit had like a 12,000 seat sellout.
Yeah, it was crazy. And you know how like in a boxing event, like no one really shows up until the co-main event and sits in their seats. So they don't show up until like Tyson Fury gets in there. Well, that's what Matt and I were worried about. We were worried like, oh, no one's going to be in there for the first fight. But then I said, well, these people don't go to boxing events. They're paying for the whole show. So hopefully they do show up. And it was crazy. When I walked out, every seat was filled, and it like really charged me up. I was so ready to go because it was so loud. I'd done a couple of things. I did a thing for the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders in front of 70,000 people one time. And it was the craziest night of my life. This was even crazier, but I was used to the crowd because of being these big crowd things. So it got me pumped up, but being in the ring and being like the main show was awesome. And Creator Clash is it is by far the standard in YouTube boxing, I feel now.
Yeah, I think that Ian and Anissa, like, they should be proud of what they put together, and all of y'all should be too for the performances. I got one more question real quick before Jeremy.
Yeah.
I know you got to get some questions in as well, but I'm such a big fan of what y'all accomplished at this show. One thing that I thought was really cool, and you alluded to this just a second ago, was the vibe was totally different, because I heard Ian talk about it while talking about the event as well, how he was trying to match people up that they weren't like mortal enemies with one another. Like I watched Harley from Epic Mealtime, his whole docuseries is put up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the day of the fight, y'all are all hanging out together like the whole day. And like, that's so not normal in a sport like boxing.
My coaches didn't like it. My coaches were like, no, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, and I kept saying to him, I was like, Matt's my friend. And he goes, no, he's not. He's not your friend. Because I did mention him a while ago, my coach, I was like, I might feel a little weird about punching him because Matt is texting me all this stuff about like, oh, I had a broken nose before. My feet are crooked. I can't stand up straight. And I was like, oh my God, he's like a mess. He's never going to be in a fight. And I was actually thinking like, oh, I kind of feel bad punching him. And that's what my coach wanted me to avoid. And that's why boxers don't talk and hang out, because you need to go in there to kill the person. And you can't do that when it's like, it's my friend, I'm going to hang out with him later. It is strange.
I mean, once you guys got in the ring, it didn't look like you had any remorse. Punch it, you're going body head, you're mixing it up. Like,
yeah.
You know, you were criticizing your performance, like I didn't look good. And I mean, look, you're not a professional boxer. You said you had 6 months training, so you're not going to be throwing jabs and using like this very high tech footwork and everything. But just mixing up body head was pretty impressive for somebody who hasn't been doing this long. Once they get into the ring, a lot of time it is just a lot of flailing and stuff. So I think you should give yourself more credit than you were of how you actually looked.
I am a little hard. I know I'm a little hard on myself, but like I think like what the commenters think. I think the same thing. I think I want to see someone get knocked out. I want to see really good hits. I want to see real good blocking because I'm used to watching boxing. But then you have to like, let go a little bit because these aren't boxers. It's like watching two mailmen get in the ring and fight, or two professionals from so far away from boxing. You can imagine that's what we are. But I am aware of what people will say, and that's what I was thinking about. Our whole plan was to go straight to the body and to the head because I watch so many YouTube boxing events and no one ever goes to the body. And it's like, why? Body hurts way more than head. I can take punches all day to the head. If it's to the jaw, it's different. But to the head, like I do not care. But if one hit to the solar plexus and you're like done, it knocks the wind out of you, no matter how big you are. So that was our plan. Was like go to the body, bend him over, clock him in the head. Let's try to do it like real quick. So I just kept going up, down, and he like, a new boxer can't move that fast. Can't block. Your elbows just don't go where they need to go. So yeah, it worked out. The plan worked. We were lucky and fortunate. But hopefully the next fight goes the same way.
I think, Mike Tyson has the quote of everybody has a plan until they get hit. And I think everybody has a plan when they're just like watching it on television. Jensen's a big MMA fan as well. And you watch these guys like, oh yeah, like just hanging out with your friends and whatnot. I could easily pull this off and I could do this. And you get in there and you like train, or you're just in there, you actually get in there like you did. And it's a completely different ballgame. Like, wait a second, what am I supposed to do here? How does Anderson Silva make this look so easy? Huh? What's happening? So again, just kudos to you for just getting in there in the first place. Because that takes a lot of balls to actually just train for 6 months and get in there and do that. I do want to move on to some wrestling stuff. GCW with John Morrison. You said you were hanging out with him at AEW as well. Talk to me about the relationship with Morrison and how you guys got linked up and how all this stuff came together.
I've known John for like 10 years or more now. There's a lot of old videos on YouTube with us. I forget how we met. It might have been through like Dolph Ziggler, because I'm friends with him as well. I'm friends with like a lot. Xavier Woods, been friends with him for a long time. I was on Up, Up, Down, Down. I just kind of became friends with some wrestlers. Vince McMahon, I did some stuff with WWE. Vince McMahon was a big fan of me. And at one point I was told by a guy at WWE that Vince watched a video with me. They watched it together. And Vince said, we got to get this guy on Raw. And it was like the nerdy guy that was like, it surprises you and can actually like do a couple moves, but then ultimately takes a bump and looks like an idiot. That was like my role. And then 2 months later, Ellsworth got hired and I was super ticked because that was like my job, I feel. But then he jobbed one night and, got the role. So Vince knows who I am. Vince tweeted one of my videos because I tried out for Tough Enough. This was after I sort of met Dolph. I started a feud with Dolph Ziggler. And that's what started a lot of this off. And he loved it. And we went back and forth. And WWE hired me for some like internet promo type stuff and, little videos here and there. So I got in, I become friends with people. John and I hit it off. We became pretty good friends. So we've done a lot of stuff over the years. That's why he was there at the fight with me. I wanted my whole presentation to look like a wrestling promo and match. Like, Dad's this unhinged guy. He's crazy. He's ready to kill. I have a 6'7" friend behind me, Bob. Big Bob is his name. He had the body bag with Matt's name on it. It was a little hard to see because there was so much going on. And then John and Giant Bob. I was like, okay, this looks like a 1980s promo. So, and then I had my two coaches, and I wanted everyone had matching gear with the Dad logo, and I said the Quantum Fist on the arms. I wanted everyone to look like a team and like have a good presentation. And we come out to my song, which is also on my entry song, which is called Obliterate. It's one of my new songs. Corey Graves sings on it. So there's a lot going on in the wrestling world during my fight that maybe not everyone knew about. Matt Pat, who's a real big YouTuber, him and Corey Graves sing on that song that I entered to. So John and I have been doing a lot together. And then the next weekend or 2 weekends later, John was like, hey, let's do GCW and you can be my corner man. I was like, that's perfect. Sounds good to me. And I got in the mix a little bit with Joey Janela, the naughty boy, the bad boy. And I had to set him straight. I took the belt off at one point. He almost got it. He didn't get it that night. He really screwed me, throwing me through that door. But I think we might have a rematch coming up. So I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna set him straight. Taking the belt's coming off, Joey.
Yes. Oh man. Well, so speaking of GCW,
so, yeah, that was my wild month with John.
that's amazing. Well, you did AEW Dark also, right? Like you came out at the end of that show.
Oh yeah, and then AEW happened. I forgot. Well, oh yeah, I was in AEW. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, I was there. I was there just hanging out with John, and then John ran the idea by Tony, and about me coming in the ring and like dancing at the end to sort of celebrate with him. And Tony's like, "Yeah, let's do it." Tony saw a video of me, and I was thinking, "Oh my God, no one is going to know what the heck's going on. This is gonna be so confusing for like the wrestling fans that don't know me." Like a couple of people did know who I was, but like it did not register on camera. That was when we were walking up the ramp. People were like, "Dad, I saw you're the Quantum Father." Like they knew the YouTube whole bit. So that was crazy. I got in the ring with John, danced around for a bit, made it on Dark. Then after the upload cuts, what you don't see is we walked up the ramp and met Tony Khan, who closes the show at the end of the night. And I shook Tony's hand, and Tony goes, "Dad bot, very nice to meet you." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm at the top of the ramp with Tony Khan." And then John, he gives the mic to John, and John says, "This is Dadbot, fastest YouTube TKO and fastest TKO in YouTube boxing history, 22 seconds." And everyone like cheered. And then Tony again said, "Congratulations, Dadbot." And Tony's like, "This is so weird and so confusing," but it was amazing, a great moment for me in my life, just be staying at the top of the AEW ramp and even in the ring. And I know all about the wrestling world, and I know what it can be like for another person in the indies who's like, "Oh, who is this dude coming in and gets to go on the ring?" I don't want everyone to offend anyone or make anyone feel like, I'm stepping on toes. So I try to be very respectful in the wrestling world because it's not my world. But then John was like, "No, this is your world." He goes, "You've been doing this for like 12 years now." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, I guess so." But anyway, I did train with Rikishi, so I have done training. I have been around for a while. So anyway, it was amazing and I loved it. And hopefully the wrestling fans, although I will say the wrestling fans, I was gonna say, hopefully they enjoyed it. If you go to that Dark upload on YouTube, it's literally 3,000 comments all about Dad. It's pretty weird. It's pretty bonkers. So people did seem to know who I was in the YouTube comments. So yeah, there you go.
Dude, that's amazing. Something I tweeted during your GCW appearance was that and you actually responded to it, which actually led me to DMing you about doing this today, was my dream match for you is you versus Early Morning Guy Steele from GCW. I think that is a fantasy matchup, and you seem down.
Oh, I'm 100% down. I honestly want to I'm coming for Danhausen. Danhausen and I have known each other for about a year and a half now, and we're friendly, but he's been a little naughty too, putting curses on people, and Dadbot doesn't like that. So he's got to set him straight as well. But Guy Steele is, I don't know if Michael Myers is under there or who, but that guy is nuts and is probably actually a dead person because I don't know how he can survive wrestling in that whole getup. And I don't know how he can see and breathe and not sweat. So I'm afraid of Guy Steele, but I am down to get in the ring with anybody. So morning Guy Steele, let's go.
How do you survive a Danhausen curse, though? This man's cursed everybody, and it hasn't worked out for them. Like, what is your plan if Danhausen's going to curse you?
Well, he's cursing humans. He's cursing mortals. My name is Dadbot from Town, USA. I was built in a facility. There's thousands of us. He curses me if it works on me, which it won't because I got a CPU up here that I have the Prime OS. Unhackable. You can't hack this Prime operating system. If he even tried to and was somewhat successful, there's thousands more Dadbots. I'm Dadbot -2. No one can stop me. Dad doesn't stop and will not stop. So try all you want, Dan. You're gonna have to do a little. You're gonna have to do some downloading onto your floppy disks to find the right code to take me down.
Well, he's got hook. That's true. He's got hook though.
Yeah, he's got hook. Hook though. He's got that little boxing boy. I can show him a thing or two too.
There you go.
Come get in the ring with me. I don't know if hook is supposed to mean like left or right hook, but you can't handle a quantum hook.
That's about the best answer I think could possibly give. I want to see all these matchups now. Dad, I know you're very locked in on the wrestling world. I knew you'd be a fan, but you're actually much more plugged in than I expected. How long have you been watching wrestling, and what are kind of some of your favorite like wrestlers like throughout your fandom?
Well, so I was built in 2018, so I'm technically only 4 years old, but I have the memories of Nathan Barnett, who is an actor, and he's a big wrestling fan. He's been watching since he fell out of his mom in 1981. So I'm a big fan of all wrestling everywhere, anywhere I can see it, I will watch it. But obviously WWF, WWE in the old days, WCW, New Japan. Now AEW is the place now. It's like the premium wrestling. So that's what I've been watching mostly. So
who are your favorites? Like who are Nathan's favorites growing up?
Ultimate Warrior, 100%. I did a little bit of rope shaking in my after my fight, after that Creator Clash, just to I get so much. I liked him not even because of wrestling. I mean, like, no wrestlers were really good in the 80s. It was all the same thing. But his presentation and his energy, like that, I get the same energy. Like, I get so hyped up when I'm like going out and to perform. So that's how I felt very much going out to my event. And everyone's like, oh, you're going to gas out. You're going to gas out if you dance too hard to the ring. And I was like, no, it's literally impossible. I will never gas out. I only eat vegetables. I'm strict vegetarian. I'm trying to be very healthy, very clean, only water. Don't drink the wonky water very often. So it's all natural, and I have a lot of it. So, and I'm built and modeled after a 41-year-old man, after Nathan, and it's a good model. It's a good base. 41-year-old angsty man that does the trick. So yeah, Ultimate Warrior. His energy is what I loved. I loved him. And he was just so mysterious. But current fan of Danhausen, big time. And Finn Balor, always been a big fan of the Prince Devitt. So, yeah, I like a lot of them. I like this people in every organization that I'm a fan of.
You mentioned you trained with Rikishi. Did you ever take a stink face?
I did, and there's footage of it.
Oh.
There is if you search Keith is tough enough on YouTube, that is cute. Well, so I have the memories of Nathan. It gets a little convoluted. But Dadbot have the memories of Nathan getting the stink face as Keith Apicary. Some people might be watching this and go, that guy looks like Trevor Phillips. That guy looks like the Skittles guy. That guy looks like Keith Apicary. Yeah, I know. I look like a lot of crazy people on the internet, but my name is Dadbot, and that's who you're looking at and talking to right now.
So I'm watching this right now. Yeah, I'm watching this right now. You're you're taking chair shots to the head from
Yep.
Keith is taking chair shots.
Keith Apicary is. Yep.
Yes. And then you're in there with Rikishi. Your gear is, and here comes the stink face.
Who did your?
Yes, I was gonna say, who did your gear? What gear maker did you go to?
That was CVS Pharmacy. You can buy a pack of underwear there for $6. The trick is to double up and wear two. You gotta wear two pairs so you don't show too much shape of your glorious body. So I also think I'm so surprised that no wrestler has ever worn tighty whities in the ring. It's so funny. So Keith Apicary is the one. He's an entrepreneur.
The trendsetter.
He's changing the wrestling game.
I mean, Danielson, his shirt nowadays, his custom shirt is just a Hanes white T-shirt. That's all. Yeah,
it looks like he's got T-shirt no undies when he comes out to the ring.
Yeah,
it always hangs like just in the right spot. Where it's like, is he wearing? Oh, okay, I see something.
Yeah. Randy Orton does that a lot as well. He
the T-shirt no undies.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. Jeremy, do you have any more wrestling related ones? I got a couple more Creator Clash ones before we wrap.
No, you go with Creator Clash, and then I have one more just completely off topic.
Okay, awesome. I know you've been calling people out for the next Creator Clash. Do you have an ideal opponent?
I do. Nexpo is his name. Nexpo. Nexpo and I have had a feud for 3 years. Matt Pat would be another one, but Matt does not want to fight. But Nexpo does want to fight, and we're about the same weight, same height. He's a little thicker than I am, but it doesn't matter to me. I'll outmaneuver him day and night, nonstop, never stop punching. So Nexpo, he wants to fight, and it's looking like possibly we might be able to fight around Halloween. I'm trying to set up my own event. I'm talking to Real Good Touring, who organized Creator Clash with iDubbbz and Anissa. That's who's organizing this tour I'm on right now for Game Grumps. Real Good Touring does like all the YouTuber tours. And I'm talking with them about setting up my own smaller event where it's a lot of the spooky channels. Also, Malachi Black wants to be there. He's friends with Justin Wang, who is another YouTuber, and Justin Wang and I are friends, and he wants Malachi to train him. And I talked to Malachi at AEW backstage at the Friday night show, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm training him good. He's got his own like MMA studio or something, and he wants to train Justin Wang." So it's a whole event with like a lot of like more spookier, I want to say dark content, but it's more like people who investigate like creepy subject matter. So that would be sort of the theme of the event. Mama Max is another name that wants to be a part of it. Some Ordinary Gamers, Muda is his name.
Yep.
So we got a lot of people. These are like some pretty big channels. And Nexpo is who I want to fight, and he wants to fight me. We've had a feud for 3 years because he said a lot of bad things about me in his video. He said that my wife is brainwashing me and I shouldn't be eating these cans of food. And I think he's full of garbage, and he just needs to come here to Town USA and eat a can of food, and he'll see that everything is fine. So Nexpo, come and get your food or you're getting the belt.
Do you have any like a location locked down at all for October?
No location yet. It's hopefully we can make it work for October, or at least towards the end of the year. But I have no idea. I heard that talk that it might have to take place in Florida because Florida might be the only place you can do these sort of exhibition matches, but I don't know how true that is. So I'm not sure.
Okay.
Hopefully soon I'll know.
I would love to attend that. I'm looking forward to you getting in the ring again, and anyone else who's willing to do it. You know, one other question I got for you. It's a controversial name, but it's a name that's somewhat attached to the show. And I'm just curious, with you running your own boxing event, would you let Sam Hyde fight if he was interested?
I personally wouldn't really want to because, and I've done some research, everything I've heard and seen, it's just, it wouldn't work in my opinion, because also I don't want to reward people that I think take advantage of negativity and like edginess and just next level trolling as like your form of art and your form of creation, which is kind of just, it's taking advantage of like making people feel bad and uncomfortable. And I just don't like that. And people would, his audience would just rip me apart. And I see them all the time in my comments, but like, I'd rather do stuff with positive people who try to do good things and get along and you don't have to worry about. And, you know, it's like good people doing good things. And the energy of Creator Clash was just so good. I would never want to be a part of something that would have an ounce of that world's energy, because it's just, why bother unless the person can like prove that is not what they're going to do and not what they like. But it would take like a good amount of other work outside to show the world that you're not that person anymore. So I personally wouldn't want to have anything to do with him, unfortunately. I mean, nothing against him. I don't know him as a person, but like everything I've seen is just not really my style.
Sure, that's totally fair. I was just curious because I know he had a big hand in training Harley for the fight, and Harley did so well, and you know, and it's just a name that keeps kind of coming up. So I was just interested, but thank you for answering that. I appreciate that.
No problem. Yeah, I talked to Harley about that too, and that whole thing was purely promotion because he knew it would get views. He had his real coach was who he said like, oh no, my real coach is coaching me, but this is like for views. So, and it worked. You know, it's a good story. I understand it. I would maybe do something like that too. Maybe not with him, but like I understand the whole, like Matt and I like were the only ones who did diss tracks. So we went like the full route of like trying to get eyes on this. And I'm down to do stuff that might make people go, oh God, what are you doing? Like to get people to like check it out. So that was the route he took. And I think it makes sense, but I wouldn't have in my, you know, personally, I wouldn't have gone that way, but like, I think it makes sense that he did it.
Sure. Anyone else that really impressed you on the show? Like, I was really impressed by Michael Reeves personally. I didn't expect him to look so good, and I thought he looked great. He said he wasn't going to fight again afterwards, but like, was there anyone else that really stood out? Because everyone did better than I expected because I had no real expectations, but some people really stood out. Do you have a couple people you want to shout out from that show?
Yeah, Michael Reeves blew everyone away. He's a maniac. That was awesome. He was amazing. But yeah, Ryan from Super Mega, Ryan and Alex, their fight was crazy. iDubbbz, Aaron from Grumps. Holy crap, man. Aaron's good. Aaron's a good fighter for sure. Harley is just so much bigger. It was a bummer that Aaron didn't get to really show. But Aaron is like could outmaneuver him, I feel. But it's just the sheer size difference was like, it's too hard, you know. Like Harley can just go and clobber you without any like having to like really do much, you know. It's just all the weight behind him. So Aaron impressed me a lot, and I really want to see Aaron fight again. We're gonna spar on this trip. We have some gloves here. We've been working out together, but we haven't boxed yet. We're gonna do some boxing on this. But Aaron and Ryan from Super Mega, especially, they really impressed me because they just like didn't. And Aaron's thing was weird because he didn't want to stop the fight, but there was a weird thing where like the guy said, "Do you want 15 seconds to rest?" And Aaron's like, "If I can get 15 seconds, yeah." And then they called it. And Aaron's like, "Well, I didn't want to do it." It was like a weird thing where they were like asking him a question. He wasn't sure what to say. But yeah, he got a little screwed, I feel. I think Aaron could have gone a little farther. And Ryan, holy crap. Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and iDubbbz, obviously.
Oh yeah, iDubbbz's transformation just physically and everything from like watching him kind of first start training to where he is now, he's shown, I mean, it's very, very impressive. And Dr. Mike is a guy who like clearly had more experience, and I think Ian really held his own in there. It was a great main event. I really enjoyed it. Are you going to be coming through Atlanta by chance? Because my brother actually owns a small boxing gym, and if you ever got to get some work done in Atlanta, just hit me up on Twitter because he watched the show with me. He loved it. He'd definitely be able to help you out a little bit.
Oh, cool. We were just in Atlanta a few days ago, but I might be going back down to Atlanta. I have a lot of friends down there. I might be going back down in July, so I will definitely let you know because I would love to train everywhere. I want to be training as much as I can over the rest of the summer.
Cool.
My last one, and then we'll get you out of here. Appreciate it. Taking the time, hanging out at a gas station with us.
You. My pleasure.
How does Dad celebrate Father's Day? It's Father's Day on Sunday. How does Dad celebrate?
Oh, yeah, it is Father's Day. Well, normally I celebrate by sitting in front of True Value Hardware and soaking up the rays from their glowing red sign. I love True Value. It's the greatest hardware store in the universe. And there's some videos on my channel of me literally just sitting there for an hour straight. And I drink some cans of food and I relax with my feet on the cooler and have a great time. That's normally what I do, but I will be spending it with the Grumps on the tour bus, playing Pokemon cards with Aaron probably. So it'll be a good Father's Day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we appreciate it. Let everyone know where they can find you at, both Dad and the shoot name. Let everyone know where they can find you at, where they can check you out at.
Okay. Well, if you search Dad on YouTube, you'll find me. I'm the first thing that comes up. But Dad Feels, as you can see above my head here, on all social media. And I'm very active on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to look up the man that I am based on, Nathan Barnett, who looks like Trevor Phillips and all these other crazy people, you can search Nathan Barnett, Barn ATT, or just search Nathan Dance on YouTube. You'll find him. He does a lot of stuff, but he's no dad bod. He's no quantum father. So just check out Dad. I'm the only thing worth watching.
Good luck getting 1 million subscribers. I don't know what's wrong with YouTube that it's not there. I think it's completely false. The numbers have been rigged and gamed to hold you down.
Think so
yeah, YouTube.
2005. Nathan started in like 2005, day one YouTube, and still neither channel, Nathan's or Dad's, has been able to get even 500,000. So now that all 500,000 viewers of this show can now go and subscribe, and we can hit 1 million.
That's right.
Love it.
Thank you again for joining us. We appreciate it. Be safe on the road. Guys, we'll be right back here.